Tell me if this sounds familiar. It's the last week of December, you're sitting on your bed scrolling through your camera roll, thinking, next year. Next year, I'm going to get it together. Properly this time. You open a new note on your phone, a new morning routine, a new gym plan, new habits, new aesthetic, a new era. And for a moment, you feel unstoppable. Then January actually begins, and suddenly it's like you have to become a whole new person just to keep up with this version of yourself that you made in your 2 a.m. burst of motivation. And somewhere deep down, you wonder, why does this always happen? Why do I keep starting strong and then slipping? If you've ever felt this loop, excitement, overwhelm, guilt, restart, you're not weird, and you're definitely not alone. I've lived that cycle too. Hi, I'm Kuhu, a counselor and art and pop culture enthusiast, and your buddy in figuring out the art of living your best life. Here on Kuhuverse, we decode why our brain does what it does and how we can use that information to level up our goals, routines, and mindset. Because I believe mental health isn't about just getting by, it's about creating a life that feels like you. Here on Kuhuverse, we talk about everything from psychology, art, and lifestyle. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure to hit subscribe for more videos like this, and let's get started. The whole New Year, New Me thing is strangely comforting. It feels exciting to choose a new era, a new version of yourself, a new aesthetic, a new identity. Clean girl, soft girl, that girl. There's a lot to pick from. And I'll be honest, I used to spend way too much time trying to build new routines and planning a perfect ideal routine. And I think if I can just copy someone else's system, it would become easy and I'd finally find the version of myself I've been trying to become all these years. But things slowly changed for me. I realized that the routines that work for others, they work for them because they were built around their personality, their challenges, their lifestyle. My challenges look different. My mornings feel different and my brain works differently. So becoming that girl isn't about copying someone else's version of them. It's about building my own version of her, slowly, imperfectly, and in a way that feels like my life. Something else I noticed was most of the pressure doesn't come from failing a goal. It comes from believing that if I'm not perfect, it doesn't count. One skipped workout, 3 days of not journaling, 1 week of feeling a little off, and suddenly the whole plan collapses. That's all or nothing thinking. We often set massive, perfect goals. And when we slip up a little, it's like the entire plan collapses. And the setback is instantly interpreted as a total catastrophic failure. This cognitive distortion forces us into a rigid binary reality. You're either 100% succeeding or 100% failing. And the moment we realize we failed, the natural instinct is to start over again. Every small habit you build, every improvement, gone the minute you think, this wasn't the perfect version of me. And so we keep restarting and reinventing ourselves instead of building on what we already have. But here's the reality that helped me breathe a little. I don't need to be perfect for 365 days. I just need to show up, be there at least 350 days. Also, life doesn't magically transform because we reinvent ourselves. It transforms because we continue. Say if this year I completed one goal, half finished two, and ignored one, I don't need brand new goals for the next year. I can simply continue the ones I haven't finished this year. Because the version of me who tried this year, that imperfect version, is still me, still capable, still in progress, still someone worth building on. And that progress can still be built on. Just because the year is over doesn't mean the progress is gone. And honestly, small shifts feel much kinder on yourself than a complete 360. Like waking up 30 minutes earlier every day till you start waking up at 5 a.m. instead of directly waking up at 6 a.m. Or building small habits every day, or building habits around who you actually are instead of who social media thinks you should be. One big change in my mindset this year was looking at why something didn't work instead of assuming I'm the problem. And I think this is one of the biggest catch when it comes to reinventing yourself, because often when we decide to reinvent, we end up ignoring what went wrong. But the most valuable data you have is the evidence from your last attempt. For example, I wanted to read 30 minutes every night this year, but I only read 5 times. Maybe the problem wasn't me, but the system. I usually have my phone on my bedside table at night, which ends up in me scrolling instead of reading. So, a simple solution could be keeping my phone at my desk far away from my bed, which was a very small change. Fixing that made reading easier and building this habit of reading much easier than it was before. It wasn't because I reinvented, it was simply I understood how I work. It's kind of nice when you think about it. You don't have to become someone completely different. You just make tiny adjustments to support the person you already are. And the older I get, the more I believe that building slowly, gently, intentionally works better than reinventing. Building lets your effort compound, makes new habits easier to incorporate into daily life. It helps build identity based habits, removes the pressure of perfection, which was so important for me, and it creates change that lasts longer than January. So, this year, instead of simply asking, who do I want to be next year? Or what aesthetic do I want to pick for next year? Also ask, what can I continue? What can I add? Because transformation doesn't arrive in one dramatic moment. It quietly grows in the background of your consistent small choices. So, what's one thing you're choosing to continue in 2026? Comment below. Not something you're reinventing or restarting, but simply building on. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends and family to start building together. And if you like this video, I think you're going to like these as well.